Welcome back, dear explorers of the mindful journey, where we take your taste buds on an adventure, even if it's to the forbidden lands of banned delicacies. Today, we're embarking on a quest, a gastronomical journey of sorts, to explore foods that are adored in one part of the world, but outright banned in another. Oh, the irony. Imagine being in love with a cheese so divine, only to discover it's illegal halfway across the globe. Or fancying a fruit so tantalizingly sweet, yet it's forbidden due to its, let's say, aromatic nature. And let's not forget about that Scottish delicacy that makes some of us cringe, but others crave. Yes, we're talking about the infamous haggis. It's a crazy, delicious world out there, full of surprises and contradictions, but that's what makes our journey even more exciting. So buckle up, dear food explorers, as we dive into the world of the forbidden. First up, we have the French cheese that is so stinky, it's illegal. Now imagine a cheese so pungent, so outrageously smelly that it's been banned. Yes, you heard that right. We're talking about none other than the notorious casu marzu. This delicacy hails from the island of Sardinia in Italy, and it's a cheese that's not for the faint-hearted. Casu marzu, when translated to English, literally means rotten cheese. Now that's a name that certainly sets the expectations, doesn't it? This cheese is made from sheep's milk, but what sets it apart is the unique and, let's say, adventurous fermentation process. The cheese is left out in the open, allowing flies to lay eggs on it. These eggs then hatch into larvae, which eat through the cheese, breaking down its fats and giving it a soft texture. The result? A cheese so stinky it can make a skunk blush. It's said that the smell of casu marzu is so strong, it can be detected even before you enter the room. In fact, if you ever want to clear a room in a hurry, just pop open a wheel of casu marzu. It's like tear gas, but cheesier. But it's not just the smell that has led to its ban. Casu marzu is considered a health hazard by the European Union due to the presence of live larvae in the cheese. Yes, that's right. When you're eating casu marzu, you're also eating live maggots. And if that doesn't make your stomach do a somersault, I don't know what will. Despite its ban, casu marzu is still enjoyed by many Sardinians, who consider it a delicacy and part of their cultural heritage. It just goes to show, one man's stinky cheese is another man's treasure. Well, that was a stinky situation. Now, let's move on to our next forbidden dish. Next on our list, a dish that has the Americans saying no thank you to the Scots. Let's take a culinary journey across the Atlantic to the rugged landscapes of Scotland. Here, a traditional dish reigns supreme, one that has been warming the bellies of the Scots for centuries. Yes, we're talking about haggis. Haggis, for the uninitiated, is a savory pudding containing sheep's heart, liver and lungs, minced with onion, oatmeal, suet, spices and salt, traditionally encased in the animal's stomach. Now, if that doesn't get your taste buds tingling, I'm not sure what will. This culinary delight is a staple of Scottish cuisine and is traditionally served on Burns Night, a celebration of the life and poetry of the poet Robert Burns. It's safe to say that if you've been to Scotland and haven't tried haggis, you've missed out on a real cultural experience. However, if you're in the United States and craving a taste of this Scottish delicacy, you're out of luck. In the late 1980s, the US banned the import of haggis due to food safety concerns. The primary issue was the inclusion of sheep's lung in the recipe, which is considered a risk for transmitting foodborne illnesses. Now, this might sound like an overreaction to some, especially when you consider that haggis has been a staple of Scottish diets for centuries. However, the US isn't taking any chances, and to this day, the ban remains in place. What's the result? Well, American foodies looking to try haggis are left high and dry, or they need to get creative. Some have tried to recreate the dish using local ingredients, but purists will tell you it's just not the same. So it's a sad day for American-Scottish relations, as the US says no thank you to this Scottish delicacy. But don't worry, haggis. You're still loved back home in Scotland. So no haggis for the USA, but let's see what's next on our forbidden menu. Now let's venture to Asia, where a certain fruit is so smelly it's banned in public places. Yes, you heard it right. We're talking about the infamous durian, also known as the king of fruits in Southeast Asia. The durian is a fruit that is either loved or hated. There's no in between. It's like the Marmite of the fruit world. This fruit is so pungent that it's been likened to a mixture of turpentine, onions, and gym socks. Yum! Who wouldn't want a piece of that? But don't let the smell fool you. Fans of this fruit swear by its creamy, custard-like taste. This fruit is so smelly, it's been banned in many public places in Southeast Asia. Imagine stepping onto a bus, only to be hit with the smell of gym socks and onions. Not quite the aromatic journey you were hoping for, right? But while the durian may smell like something that's been left to rot in the sun, it's a delicacy in places like Malaysia, Indonesia, and Thailand. They say that to truly appreciate the durian, you must go beyond the smell and savor the flavor. So, if you ever find yourself in Southeast Asia, why not give the durian a try? Who knows? You might just find yourself falling in love with this stinky fruit. From stinky cheese to smelly fruit, we've certainly had a noseful today. Well, that's a wrap on our whirlwind tour of the world's banned delicacies. We've navigated the stinky cheese of France, hurdled over the haggis of America, and even survived the fallout of peculiar Asian fruits. I can almost hear your stomachs growling. Or is that a gasp of disbelief? Either way, it's been a feast for thought, hasn't it? Remember, one man's delicacy could be another man's, well, forbidden dish. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to continue our mindful journey. Until next time, keep exploring. Wait, hold on to your seats, folks. We're not done yet. Next, we're off to Japan, where a deadly delicacy awaits. You might have heard about it, the infamous fugu, or as we know it, the pufferfish. Sounds cute, right? But here's a fun fact. This little fishy packs a punch. It contains tetrodotoxin, a poison that is more potent than cyanide. One wrong cut, and it's sayonara. Despite the risk, the thrill, and the unique taste, make fugu a sought-after dish in Japan. But don't worry, you won't find any amateur chefs playing around with this fish. Only highly trained and licensed chefs are allowed to prepare this potential culinary time bomb. So if you're feeling brave, or maybe just a bit adventurous, why not try fugu on your next trip to Japan? Just make sure your chef is licensed. This is one meal you definitely don't want to become your last. Stay tuned for more adventures and daring dishes from around the globe. And remember, it's a big, delicious, sometimes dangerous world out there. Explore responsibly. Finally, we hop over to Australia. Remember, we're not just here for the koalas and the Great Barrier Reef. We're here for something that might raise your eyebrows. Yes, we're talking about the kangaroo, a national icon, a symbol of Australia. But here's the twist. It's not just bouncing around the outback, it's also on the menu. Kangaroo meat, believe it or not, is a bit of a controversial topic down under. It's not technically banned, but it sure does stir up some heated debates. Why, you ask? Well, imagine eating a national symbol for dinner. It's a bit like an American eating a bald eagle burger. Not the usual dinner conversation, is it? But there's more to this story. Kangaroo meat is actually quite the nutritional powerhouse. It's lean, high in protein, and low in fat. Plus, kangaroos have a lower environmental footprint compared to traditional livestock. They require less water, less land, and produce fewer greenhouse gases. Despite these benefits, many Australians are split on the issue. Some see it as a sustainable and healthy food source, while others, well, let's just say they'd rather stick to their steak and shrimp on the barbie. So, what about you? Would you give kangaroo meat a try, or is it a hop, skip, and a jump too far? Remember, food is an adventure, but it's also a personal choice. So, whether you're digging into a plate of fugu in Japan or considering a kangaroo steak in Australia, always remember to explore responsibly. Well, that's a wrap on our extended tour of the world's most controversial delicacies. We've sailed through the sea of forbidden delights, sniffed out the stinky but oh-so-delicious cheese of France, hurdled over the haggis of America, and survived the fallout of peculiar Asian fruits. We've braved the pufferfish peril of Japan and hopped into the kangaroo conundrum of Australia. It's been a whirlwind journey, and we hope you've enjoyed this gastronomic adventure as much as we have. Remember, Every culture has its own unique culinary traditions and tastes. What might seem strange to us might be a delicacy to others. So whether you're digging into a plate of fugu in Japan or considering a kangaroo steak in Australia, always remember to respect and appreciate the diversity of our world's cuisine. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and never stop adventuring. After all, food is not just about nourishment, it's also about discovery, understanding, and connection. See you in the next video, fellow food adventurers.